Hi, I just had an idea. So Ray is coming over this weekend after we go to the pumpkin patch, and I want her to have something to do because let's face it, my house is not baby proofed anymore. So I think I'm gonna make a giant pumpkin and do like a pin the face on the pumpkin kind of a thing. And I thought maybe you could join me for making it. So that would be something fun for you guys to do at your house. And also I was thinking about, there's this fun activity I used to do in my classroom where we would ice skate on paper plates. And I was thinking about making them into pumpkins and doing like a funky little like ice skating pumpkin thing. I'm not quite sure how it's gonna turn out yet, but let's try and find out. Okay, so a few things before we start. If you want to do this, I would suggest getting some poster board. I just went to the Dollar Tree and got some poster board. One thing that I have learned that with poster board, there's two sides. One is kind of shiny and like a matte finish, and well, it's just shiny. The other side's really a matte finish. But I find that when I'm painting on it, it's better to paint on the matte side and not the shiny side. In the past, when I've done projects, they don't last as long because the paint peels off of it. So do the other side, the matte side. And then I always start with a pencil, okay? And then if I'm drawing something out, which today I'm gonna draw a pumpkin, sometimes I use a reference. So I have my this little pumpkin lantern, and I'm gonna sort of kind of use that as my reference just to draw out a really basic sketch of a pumpkin. And the best part about pumpkins is they're not perfectly circle. So it doesn't matter if you can't make a circle. Like, there's no two pumpkins that are alike. They're gonna have lumps and bumps, and some are gonna be tall, and some are gonna be short, some are gonna be all over the place. So no matter what you draw, it's gonna look great. So don't worry about that. I think I want my pumpkin to be tall, so I'll turn it tall. So I'm gonna start with the pencil and sketch it out, and then I will put Sharpie to do the outline, and then we will go from there. Okay, so we've got our pumpkin drawn out. I just started with a basic circle, and to get these ridges, I just started in the middle and I did kind of a ridge in the middle, and then I drew down and did it back up and then added onto the sides. You do not have to do that. I just like my pumpkins to have texture. So, and then I went ahead and did it in Sharpie. So now the next step is gonna be to paint it, and I've got some, I just grabbed whatever was in my drawer. You could do watercolor if you wanted to. Actually, that would be really pretty. Watercolor would probably dry really fast too. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do now. But anyway, so just grab whatever you have. You can even color it in marker. So I've got some yellows and some oranges. I have a little green for the leaves and some white to change the brightness of it. And you could just paint this straight up orange, totally fine. Or I like to add a little bit of variety and some shading and things. So I'm gonna maybe decide, maybe the sun's over here. I'm gonna pretend the sun's over here. And the lighter areas will be along this side of the ridge, and then it will get darker on the inside of the ridge. And so that's how I'm gonna do it. Once again, you can just paint it pink if you wanted to, whatever you want. And then I also put the paint directly on here. I am someone who, well, being a preschool teacher, you had to learn how to make shortcuts and anything that's gonna save time. And so putting the paint directly on here saved a lot of wash up time because I didn't have to scrub plates and whatnot. So I'm gonna just throw the paint on, and I'm just gonna take my brush and just brush it all over. If I want a spot to be lighter, I'll just put a little bit of white on it. If I want it to be a little darker, I'll put a little, maybe even some green on it. We'll see. Don't know how it's gonna turn out. Doesn't really matter. It's still fun. So give it a try. Just grab some paint, and then I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so we're done painting, and I think I might have put a little bit too much dark. But that's okay. I still like it. It's just, I always forget that you don't need very much. So I will remember that mental note for next time. The nice thing about not cutting it out yet too is you don't have to worry so much about the lines yet. You can go over the lines. And so what I'll do is I'll let it dry, and then I will redraw with my Sharpie my lines that I want, and then I will cut it out. So now, while it dries, the part that we need to make is the part we're gonna have the littles pin on the pumpkin, which it's just gonna be tape. It's not gonna be anything more than that. But this is like a craft foam, and so it'll kind of keep up to like a couple of uses at least. And I'm actually, seeing as this pumpkin's so big, I'm gonna actually cut it out like quite large. Actually, I think probably the best way will be to do it this way. So that way it's something big to hold on to, and it'll show up better on the pumpkin when it gets put on. So I'll cut out a couple eyes and a nose and a little mouth out of there. Okay. Okay, I think we're done. Here's our pumpkin. So I've got my triangles for the face and my nose and my mouth, and I'll just put some like masking tape on the back. And then if we want to do like pin the face on the pumpkin, like pin the tail on a donkey, just find you know, a towel or a scarf, and make sure there are adults present to help avoid little ones running into things. And I'll just pin this up on the wall. And yeah, use a tape like masking tape because it comes off easily if you want to reuse it again. And I'll probably, when I have time, I like to laminate these, and when it's bigger you can take it to like Office Depot, and they have a big laminator, and they ran Frank through it for me, and so that's nicely laminated. I keep meaning to go bring those guys these pumpkins and get them laminated because they're not made of poster board. Other quick tip, these yellow guys, I don't know if you saw, but I bent it in half to find the middle, and then in order to save time, I stacked them together to cut them, and that's all I did. And that just saves just a little, one of those little bit of time tricks. The other thing I wanted to show you, which was something that we used to do, was ice skate on paper plates. And so I have 2 paper plates here, and I've just drawn with Sharpie, because you're gonna step on these, a little pumpkin face. And I didn't really go crazy with paint because I thought maybe it might come off on a shoe or flake off. Because all you're gonna do is step on them. So, and once again, adult supervision just in case. And so you just put them on the floor and have your little ones step on them. And it kind of gives a little bit of a slide, just enough to make it fun. And then my feet are too big and I can't find where they are. Where are they? There we go. And you just kind of slide. And it will work on carpet too, but it might be fun to have like a little Halloween ice skating party and put on some Halloween music. So I'm gonna give that a try. I don't know if she'll like it or not, but you know, it's an option if she needs to move her body, because oftentimes little ones, they don't like to sit still for very long, and that will give her something to do. Oh, and the other thing I thought of as I was painting this yesterday, because this was a multi-day process. I started too late in the day to finish the video, but I realized I was wearing a brand new shirt and I was using tempera paint. Luckily it's fine, but if you're gonna use tempera paint, put on a smock or a shirt you don't care about. You can also just have the kids paint it. It's fine. If it's younger kids, I would personally cut it out first and then have them paint it. And that's basically only to take away the stress of having to stay in the lines, because that might not, for the child, be developmentally appropriate yet. So, and then you can just give them some paint and they can go at it and they don't even have to worry, and then come back after and put the lines in. But have them use more of like a water-based, kid-friendly paint. And if you don't want dirty clothes, put a smock on, because that gets messy. So I hope that is a fun activity you might want to do with your kids or your grandkids. Yeah, and we'll see what happens and if she likes it. We might be too tuckered out after the pumpkin patch to even want to do much, so we'll see. But it's there as an option if we want to have some fun. So I hope you guys had a great Halloween-y filled weekend and you went to the pumpkin patch and did something fun and maybe did some arts and crafts. So have a great week. Bye.